Peace, diehards. What's up? It's your boy E. Rue, host of the Knicks Podcast. As you can see by the thumbnail, haters, intimidation, and the disrespect, man. It's kind of like a loaded conversation, but I got a guy that's into loaded topics and stuff like that. I got 1/3, well, really 1/4 of the Barz N Shotz podcast. We got I am Jarrell, and you guys are familiar with him. He's always in the chat, man. So without further ado, the Knicks Podcast. Let's get busy. Hey, what's up, Mr. Jarrell?
What up, man?
I'm man. So
tweeting out the link right now.
Okay, got you, man.
Right.
Well, I'm excited. I didn't tell you this while we was behind the scenes there, but I'm excited about the podcast because you've been one of my biggest supporters, bro.
Thank you, sir. I should have worn a sweatshirt. I got the hoodie. I should have wore it, man.
And you got merch. Oh my God, man. You know what I'm saying? That warms my heart because a lot of times I be in here talking to him about myself, especially in the beginning. It's just me and the screen, you know what I'm saying? I feel like you've been there since then.
Believe me, I understand, man. Like I remember with our show, when we first started, we was basically talking to ourselves. So I know exactly what you're going through, bro.
Yeah, no doubt. So tell me about the show, man. What is it? What is the show? How can they find you? And just give a little, synopsis about it.
I am 1/4 of a show called Barz N Shotz. We are basically a hip hop culture podcast. First, we used to do all just audio stuff, but lately, this past year, we've actually moved on to lives, just like you, just like Sim. Salute to Sim on NBK because he was a big influence on me doing stuff like that because I saw you. Saw him, and I saw a whole bunch of people doing, content on YouTube, and I wasn't really familiar with that. So once I start, seeing everybody doing their own thing, then I did my little research, and then our podcast actually got a lot more play just because we started doing lives on YouTube. So it's me, my guys are Flaw 700, Ant the Great One, and DJ Big J. We do lives on Sunday.
That's what's up. You guys started a new time too. You guys were starting at 11. Now it's at what 4?
I think it was at 1, but now it's going to be at 4, I believe. Unless we switch, it's either going to be between 1 and 4. Football's coming on, so I might have to switch that back up. I don't know about that.
Yeah, that's a tough time, man.
Right.
Yeah, you're a big football guy.
Oh yeah, I'm a huge football fan. I'm a ex-football player. Actually was recruited D1, went to Florida State and stuff. So. Yeah, played semi-pro. Yeah, I'm an ex-football player, so I'm a big Giants fan, big Knicks fan too. So,
well, now you say you semi-pro. Now you got to explain all that shit, man. What
man? Like, it's a long story because I'm 42 years old, so I haven't played in forever. I haven't put on passes. I was in my early 20s, but yeah.
Yeah, tell me about it. I'm 42 as well, man.
Oh, so yeah, I graduated high school. The high school that I was in wasn't a big competition, so I got like a semi contract or scholarship or whatever. Mm-hmm. I didn't last that long there, but I ended up going there and a whole bunch of stuff happened. So I ended up coming back. I went there, transferred to Marshall right after Randy Moss left, like the year after. After that, just went to junior college and ended up playing semi-pro. I kind of basically just fizzled out, man. I lost love for the game because of injuries, hurt my knee, stuff like that. So.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like that's like everybody's story, man. Especially, right. Yeah. Now we're 42. We can look back on it at our glory days, and nobody believes us. It's right, like exactly. God. Damn.
That's why I don't even bring it up no more, man. Like, nah. Some people ask me, do I play? Because I'm 6'4". Like I'm 6'4", like 300 plus pounds. So when I walk around, everybody asks me, do I play football? Everybody. So most of the time I say no. Most of the time I say no. I don't, because a lot of times when you do say yes, then all of a sudden a conversation from a complete stranger want to talk to you for like an hour about the Eagles and stuff because I live in the Philadelphia area.
Okay.
But, I'm originally from New York, so I'm a Giants fan living around a whole bunch of Philly fans.
Damn, man. So it's good to be 6'4" and 300-something pounds.
Right. People don't usually mess with me when I say I'm a Giants fan. I'm cool.
they probably knowing Philly fans is Philly fans always got the smoke, man. That crumb bum shit that you see in the video.
That is true. Depending on who you are, they do not care how big I am. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, but it does help though.
Right.
Yeah. Well, for me, when people look at me and say, "Damn, man, you like cake and cookies and shit," it look like you like to eat a lot of cake and cookies.
Right,
That's what they say to me, man. Especially looking at me, nobody would know that I'm like a super basketball fan or nothing like that. But
right.
I love basketball. I'm 5'10". I got the whole 5'10" thing.
Hmm.
I used to be able to jump. Nobody believes me. I used to be able to play ball pretty good. My boys don't vouch for me and nothing like that. So man, it's like what the
Right,
fuck, man. So here we are, Dianetics podcast, man.
right, man. I'm old and fat now, man. I used to run in like a sub 740, man. Like I'm fat now. I can't do that no more. I'm running like a 5'2".
Jesus Christ, man. So I mean, would you say now that we reached this point in life, do you think people are hating on you now? Do you, I
Well,
don't
yeah,
know.
I guess it depends on what type of field you're in, especially if you're employed at a whole bunch of haters around you. There's always a bunch
Yeah,
of haters around
absolutely. Especially 6'4" and 30. I freaking hate you right now, man. I wish I was
you.
6'4". If I was 6'4", I'll be in the NBA right now, man. That's what everybody says.
Ah, man, I'm a big teddy bear though, man. I ain't no bully.
Yeah, man. So there's a lot of hate going on right now, especially surrounding RJ. So I got this whole this thumbnail here that I had up here, but RJ, I don't know where it's coming from, but this is the culture surrounding sports at the moment, man. So why do you think this is happening? Why is RJ being singled out? He's been singled out ever since he's been drafted by the Knicks.
Honestly, I think he's being singled out now because Frank is gone. We're gonna say Candyman name. Might as well get it out the way.
Yeah,
Frank
say
is
his name.
gone. I
Hmm.
mean, who's the whipping boy now for the Knicks? Like we're actually a pretty good team now, so you can't really say anything negative about the off season. At least I can. I actually like the off season. So now it's about RJ's development, even though he's only 21 years old. So
Yeah, and I mean, if you tell the big story, that's the thing. No, nobody tells the big story. It's always like compartmentalized into like these little sex stories, and you kind of forget about the bigger picture here. Everybody wants to talk about this one little thing, so it just distracts the conversation. Back to Frank
exactly,
Ntilikina, you know what I'm saying? When we talk about Frank, everyone will talk about what he could do and what he can do. So then I start arguing, say, "Yo, man, he hasn't done it yet," and then now that spirals into like a conversation that has nothing to do with the big picture.
right,
So that's exactly what's happening now with RJ. The big picture to me is the fact that we basically have a big four as far as offensive players on the team now. We haven't had that in years. Then we got guys off the bench that can come and do offensive stuff. But
exactly.
defensively, Tom Thibodeau, you already know that he's like the head on the what do you call it? You
Totem
know
pole.
there you go. Sounds good.
Right. It's to the point now that we get so much hate now because we had a good offseason. We got to talk about how good defensively Alfred Payton and Reggie Bullock is all the time.
Right.
Like they was lockdown defenders or whatever. They were average,
Right.
slightly above average maybe. Their defensive ratings weren't even that high, and we replaced them with two people that can score. So I think it was a good trade off.
Yeah, absolutely, and just for the simple fact that these offensive players they can at least do something. When the ball goes to Kemba, something's going to happen. If the
Right.
ball goes to Fournier, something's going to happen. It's not just
Exactly.
going to be a jump shot or just not going to be him passing it back to Julius Randle. Something else might happen. You know,
Exactly.
yeah, just that little sprinkle of stuff there is gonna just make the Knicks better altogether. But then defensively too, Walker's always good at and Fournier, both of them are really good at stepping into guys. Once they're making the drive, getting
Hmm.
charges, that type of thing, or just leading guys off into whatever the defensive scheme is. So I think that's gonna be a plus as well.
Oh, shout out to I think my guy Flaws in the chat.
Yeah,
The Audio
Sam.
Fam Network. He a Miami Heat fan, so don't mind him.
Oh my God.
Nah, I mean he gonna come in here and talk about the Miami Heat.
Well,
Right? Don't even
that's
put him on there no
blasphemous.
more.
Look at that. That's I
I
was just
know,
about to
right?
say, yeah, I was about to say the Audio Fan Network because for those that follow the podcast, they hear bars and shots, but then they see Audio Fam Network. So
Right, right.
some
I'm gonna actually put a link in the chat also. Sorry
okay.
about that. I'm gonna put a link in the chat so everybody don't mind me. Yeah, whatever.
So how did that come about, you guys? How did you guys get this together with your podcast?
I actually had another podcast and Flaw, my man Flaw, who's actually commenting now in the chat. He's actually the head of the Audio Fam Network. So he
Okay.
has a couple podcasts on the network, and I had a podcast with me, a young lady, and another gentleman. But we decided to, part ways. So he wanted to start up a hip hop podcast, and I guess I was one of the first ones that he mentioned, and we just got Ant and got DJ Big J, and we became basically a family because I didn't even really know them like that. Like especially Ant and Jay, I didn't really know them at all. So once we start talking, and once you start talking to anybody every week or maybe twice a week, you basically become brothers. So that's what we basically became. So I feel like they're my family now. And that's been going on for about what 2.5 years. I think we've been going.
That's excellent, man. That I got the same story. You can see at the bottom of the screen, MBK fam. I met you
Right.
through MBK fam too. So I mean, like we've only been doing. I mean, like I want to say the year before COVID hit, because we didn't have opening night and stuff last year, but we had it the
Hmm.
year before that. That's the first time I met Sim. I
Okay.
remember I just hit up Sim on the humble just to say something, and he writes me a soliloquy, a freaking
Right.
like disposition about every.
Okay.
I only asked him one simple question. He gave me like this big long thing. Pause. But it's just so funny that complete strangers can give you such love like that.
Exactly.
Right now, my cousin, I hit him up. I asked him if I just asked him like for feedback, because he told me that his girl was watching the show and she actually liked it, and she don't
Hmm.
even like the Knicks. So that's interesting. So I hit him up and
Right.
said, so what did she like about the show? Blah blah. I'm on red. You know what I'm saying? I'm on red. I'm
He didn't
still
want to
waiting for
tell
the
you that
answer.
part, right? He didn't
Yeah,
want
I
to tell
still
you
waiting
that
for the
part.
answer. Yeah, but I hit up Sim, and he gives me a freaking soliloquy.
Right. It
I
just
don't even
depends
know
on
the
who
guy.
you are, man. I mean, a lot of people like the show. The reason I gravitated towards you in the show is just because of the energy. I could tell that you actually care about the Knicks.
Right.
That's why. I mean, and it doesn't even matter if you are a Knicks fan because, like you said, his girl was watching the show, or whatever. My wife watches the show with me at night when I'm be talking and talking shit in the chat and all that. Like she usually be right there talking shit with me.
That's what's up, man. But it's an amazing phenomenon, man. Like you said, you met these guys online. You've been together for 2 years. Same
Right.
thing with State. I never met State a day in my life. Me and him got a show together on this
Right.
podcast, and we have great chemistry together.
And I seen your show so much, I feel like I could talk to the state. Like if he hopped on right now, I could have a conversation with him because I not know how he thinks all the time, but I've seen the show so much, I could tell. Like I could tell he hates. Like if State was watching right now, I could tell he hates Tom Thibodeau right now.
Absolutely, man.
You know what I'm saying? Like I could
Yeah.
tell. Like I know his opinions already, so I could almost tell what type of guy he is.
Right.
That's all.
It's just the love for sports. It's something about that, man. So what's your impressions of me, man? Because I'm waiting for my cousin to let me know. So what's your impressions of the show?
I actually like the show, man. It's a good. It's a lot. It's the energy. That's what I tried to say before. Like it's the energy of it. Like sometimes, like I could tell when you want to do it because like I do shows myself. So you'll
Right.
start off right. Sometimes you'll just be cool and calm and collective. But if somebody ticked you off though, all of a sudden you'll go from 0 to 10. That's how I could tell that you actually love what you're doing because you can actually shout out to Evergreen in the chat.
Yeah.
I can tell that if somebody you cannot know them, they can just say the simplest thing, but it'll tick you off that quick because you're passionate about what you're doing. That's all.
Yeah, absolutely. That's my superpower.
Right.
It's like the Incredible Hulk. As soon as somebody says something, it's
Right.
like, bro,
Exactly.
the Ebru rant is about to happen. So I can't control it, man. That's why I try, Sim show. I try to get on the show whenever I can, but a lot of times work and stuff like that. But then
Right.
I'll get on the show, and I don't know if you watch the show, and if I'm on the panel, just watch me
Right.
on the panel,
You'll be
because
sitting there like,
you can see me going like
yeah, I see
like
you. Yeah,
you
right.
know
Waiting to
yeah.
talk or trying to jump in. I've been on his show twice.
Mhm.
It's a lot going on when you got like 6 people talking and you're trying not to jump in and interrupt him and stuff. So it's a cool experience going on his show though.
Yeah, but those guys are good too, man. 'Cause like you're talking about MBK fam. They came
Right.
up with that, but it's not something that we just doing it just to for clout and stuff like that. Maybe some guys did that, but sometimes we'll get on the show and we'll be talking behind the scenes,
Hmm.
for hours.
Right.
I say, yo, bro, I gotta go to work in 5 minutes. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I can tell, man. Shout out to Sim, Steph, Josh, Tone. I watch all of them, man.
Yeah, man. Shout out to these guys. But I did that segue because just to show the love. That's all love there, all love for the team, and just love for just respect. You said the energy, you're attracted to the energy. The energy is what really brings us all together. So that's why hate is an energy. It's an energy that you have to manufacture yourself. It's not something
That's
that's
true.
natural, because love is natural.
Right.
You know, because like for me, like this is the first time I'm me and you speaking, but I feel like I have a connection with you too. It's just a
Right.
weird phenomenon,
Just from
you know.
DMing, like the little DMs that we've been going back and forth. We haven't even been DMing that long. You can just tell it's not like we friends and known each other for like years, but you can tell we can have a conversation for hours without talking about anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so I mean, the hater thing, man, you really have to manufacture that. That's something that you have to like really fester and really like poke the donkey or poke the animal, to
Right.
really get them to react and stuff like that. So it's just so strange that RJ is this guy.
Yeah, I
So
don't have the energy for that, man. I don't see how people do that. Especially when people troll on Twitter and stuff like that. I don't have the energy for that.
yeah, the last part that I did with Evergreen. Shout out to Evergreen. Evergreen. I like Evergreen, man. So I like to hear him talk. So I'm listening to him. So sometimes I forget that he's like talking forever. You know what I'm saying? I'm just kind of just listening to him, and then like he has a way of getting me to snap out of it, and all of a sudden I'm yelling and cursing and stuff.
Right.
But that's all love though. But like I just with this whole RJ thing, I don't know, man. So like, what do you think it comes from? I mean, because I mean, what's your impressions of RJ actually?
I actually think RJ is going to be just fine. I think he has the his work ethic and just his personality alone. You could tell he's like all about basketball, and I think he will be fine. He's 21 years old, and he's almost like if his percentages go up, he's 20 plus score easily. So I don't think anybody should be worried about RJ right now. I think that's to be should be the least of Nick's worries right now.
So if there could be anything to worry about, what Nick fans be worrying about?
Um, just camaraderie, like you said. Like they got rid of a couple pieces, and the way that Tibbs coaches, a lot of starters are going to be playing a lot of minutes. So just worry about injuries, how they play together, and basically that's it.
Yeah, the
I mean,
and
you can't do anything now. Like the roster's already set, basically. I don't want us trading for a superstar right now. So I just want us to stay healthy. That's the number one thing.
yeah, stay together. I mean, the trading deadline is not coming until like February, damn near, March,
Right.
almost right. So we got a large, clip of time, full 82 game season. We got a large clip of time to really like just analyze the team, see what's happening, really enjoy it, go through
Hmm.
the ups and downs, see who's gonna play, see who's gonna get hurt. Like just like you said, this is all exciting shit. Because I
Right.
mean, like I was saying with Evergreen, I had that big rant at the end, 10-minute rant. Just based off of like yo, this is for fun, man. This is fun.
Right.
So this like I can, nobody wants to hear it. Just like Michael K Williams, I was trying to make that connection. Rest in peace. He passed away. We
Hmm.
don't know the circumstances. But
Right.
not for nothing, nobody really wants to hear it. If it happened to me, nobody would care.
Right.
Nobody really cares.
Exactly.
Everybody got their own stuff. Everybody, like to me, I feel like everybody's like one really bad situation from being on the news.
Right.
You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
That goes into like mental health and stuff, and that's a whole completely different podcast that everybody goes through, but we just don't want to talk about it. That's all.
Right. Yeah, but shout out to Floor 700. So I wanted to point that out. He always asks that. He always asks us how's your mental health and stuff.
Exactly.
I enjoy that, man. That makes me feel good.
Okay. We make sure to ask each other that because it's usually 4 or 3 black men up there, so that's a big thing for us. We don't like if nobody asked, you wouldn't say it.
Absolutely.
Like if
I,
nobody asked you what's going on, you wouldn't tell them naturally. So we make sure to tell each other or ask each other.
that's what's up. So I want to incorporate that into my own life too, because people always ask, hey, what's up, man? How you doing? But I
Hmm.
really don't care.
Right,
It's
because
like
that's just a saying people say. They don't really know. They don't really care about how you're doing though.
right. So telling somebody like, yo, hey man, how's your mental health? They probably look at you like,
Right, and
yeah,
sincerely ask, like they actually care, like somebody that you care about and talk to all the time. That's needed for most people. They just don't think they need it, but you do need that. So
absolutely. Like you said, black men, just men, even just men in general, not to single out just black and minority men, just men in general, because
yeah, true.
as we know, our Caucasian brothers and sisters are kind of bugged out,
Yeah, yeah, they go through a lot as well. Yes.
Yeah, they go through a lot of shit too. So we can't single out certain sects of people,
Right.
but people really need to like think about that, but they don't, because in a situation like this when we're talking about sports and something that's supposed to take us away from that whole thing,
Hmm.
we're bringing that into the sports, so
Yeah, yeah, you're right. But we still have to do it though. You still have to ask. You still have to care. A lot of things. All the times that athletes get in trouble and stuff, they get in trouble for a reason. They don't just wake up, in the middle of the night and decide to go out and do something stupid. Like there's a
Right.
reason they do stuff like that.
Well, can I ask you about Marbury? People when they talk about Marbury, they don't want to talk about his accolades. They don't want to talk about the fact that he
Right.
was probably one of the greatest high school players to ever play. You
Right.
know,
They
you
want
know
to
he
talk about him eating Vaseline.
yeah, his whole career comes down to Vaseline now, man.
Right.
But like you just hit the nail on the head there. He was going through something in his life. He's a multimillionaire. He
Right.
can do anything he wanted anytime in his life. So that could warp your mental.
Right. A lot of people don't realize the culture shock from going to Brooklyn, then going to GT for a year, and then going to Minnesota. Like everybody can't handle that as a 19-year-old fam. Like that's not normal. That's not a people from Brooklyn, or especially if you grew up like in the projects or from Coney Island, they just ship your ass to Minnesota for 3 years. I mean, as a 19-year-old, everybody can't handle that. No matter how much money you're getting paid.
Yeah, that's one thing that the NBA tries. They try to do a good job preparing the guys for those type of situations. But when real life hits you, that when you're in your own head and stuff like that, you can't really you know like you really need like your people to get behind you to ask you how are you doing, and really
Right.
and really be there for you, not just sit there and let you just burn and just sit back and be like, damn man,
Exactly. Because you got to think about it as yourself. When you think about it, like you're not going to. What will it take for you to go and try to see somebody about it? If
right.
somebody doesn't ask you, you're not going to go to a therapist. Like it, just how we think and how our culture is. That's not nothing we normally do. That's all.
Yeah, I tell you that now, right? I definitely need to see a therapist, bro.
See,
Something wrong with me.
but what's it going to take for you to do it though? That's what I'm saying. Like,
I'm gonna have to be on a diet next podcast, eating Vaseline and shit.
see, that's what I'm saying. Like you never know what the breaking point is, man. Like we don't naturally do stuff like that. So
Right. So I mean, it's a shame that that his whole career, now in China, people disregard that too because they still going back.
exactly.
Yeah. So I mean, that's I'm just trying to tie all these different emotions, all these different thought processes, just giving back to this hater stuff, and when it comes to hate, you get like you can either go either way because I was talking about intimidation in sports and then disrespect. So I guess I'll bring up disrespect. So the thing now is it's like say like the Kanye West album,
Hmm.
right? That's like a big topic of conversation. I
Hmm.
love how you described it. How do you describe Kanye West's album?
I guess it depends on who's listening. Some people think it's all over the place. I get that it's a gospel album, but for the most part, if depending on what you listen, like I'm a big music dude too. So like I know I talked about the sports thing, but I play instruments and stuff like that. So it's depending on who's hearing it. Some people think it's a masterpiece. Some people think it's trash. Like it's no in between for the most part. So that's the whole good thing about art, though. Everything is subjective. Same thing with the Drake album. Like for the most part, I didn't think either one of them were that good, but neither one of them were trash either. But depending on who you're talking to and their fans, both of them were classics in their own right. You know what I'm saying? So it all depends on who you're talking to.
Right. Well, you're talking to me, and I will never push play on a Drake album.
I'm sure you wouldn't. And how did you think Donda was?
Well, Donda, like I like what you said. It's a gospel album. When
It
you
is.
said that, I was like, "Pow! There you go.
Yeah, it's a
That's
gospel.
what it
I don't
is."
know why people could. The only reason people compare it to Drake album or anything like that is because he compares it to a rap artist because he compares himself to rap artist, but he's not a rap artist anymore. That's the only bad thing about Kanye when it comes to music. Like that's not a rap album. His last couple albums weren't really rap albums; they were gospel albums. So he just got to stop doing that. Once you stop telling people that he's number one and he should be compared to Drake and stuff, then it would never go away, man. Like you would never think of that as a rap album ever.
Yeah, he's a pop star now. He's basically a
Right.
pop culture star.
Exactly. No real rap head. If you're looking for a rap album, no way you listen to that and think it's good. You can't. Like it's not the same type of music. It's not.
Right. That's how I'm thinking about it too. Because I mean, I'm listening to it. It sounds like noise to me. You
See,
know, There's a couple songs. I mean, like when you said gospel, that really resonated with me. But he has that Jesus Lord song. I love that song. I
The
think that
one with
song
the
is dope.
locks and
Well, no,
Jay Electronica.
well, the one with Jay Electronica. I don't like the locks involved in that. I like Jay
Why?
like. I don't know, man. I think adding them to the album to that song, it just makes the song different to me.
Because it's long as hell. For one thing, it turned that shit into like 12 minutes.
Yeah. I don't know if people are ready for 12-minute songs again. I mean, back in the days, people used to do that. They used to rap and
Yeah.
they have a long like layover, and then they'll come back and start rapping again.
Well, we old, but in the 80s and 70s and shit, like they had like instrumentation to, you can have a song that would jam for 8 minutes. Now you're not trying to hear somebody rap for 8 minutes with, like a short little music bed in the middle of it. Nah, that's not how music. We don't want to hear that.
Yeah, I can't. To me, I just can't listen to it. It's literally like noise. A lot of the songs when I'm listening, because I'm trying to objectively listen. I'm trying to listen to the entire song. I'm just trying not to skip it. I just want to hear the whole thing. So I'm listening to it the whole time. I'm listening to it, I'm like kind of like cringing, and like I could feel it in my soul. Is vibrating my spirit.
I
Like
want to say salute to Evergreen. He was in the chat earlier. Evergreen is a producer. I know he listens to that. That's not a rap album. It's not a hip hop album
yeah,
at
he
all.
did say that.
Right? It's not. Like if you know music, you can tell it's not a rap album.
Right. I think Kanye West probably was never a rapper. He's really like, in the beginning he was like just like all around hip hop. Kind of, it was like a hip hop feel. Everything about it. Even like his first album to me it just seemed like that to me is just an epitome of like a hip hop, hip hop culture. If I wanted
Okay.
people to know what hip hop culture was, I could just hand you Kanye West
Right.
album and you can get the
Exactly.
gist of that. But somewhere along the line, I don't know when he lost it. Maybe the 808 heartbreak stuff.
Right. That's when he changed.
Yeah,
That's when he started getting to like the abstract stuff.
yeah,
808 and Heartbreaks, Yeezus, and then he went on from there.
yeah. But he's entitled to that. He's entitled
Yeah.
to making he's an artist. He's in
Just
control of
like you're
his.
entitled to call it trash and never want to listen to that shit. That's all.
Right,
It is
exactly.
what it is.
Yeah. I don't really like how he does it, but most Def always complains about it that yo, I don't make it for you, like he gets really
Right.
emotional about it, which I don't really like the way he does that, but I get where he's coming from because as an artist, he creates, and
Hmm.
the amount of time it takes him to create it, it's not up to you. It's up to him, to,
That's
to
true.
get to get it together, the even say like Jay Electronica, he's starting to make more music, but how long did it take for him to
Like
come
eight
out with
years.
something?
We talked about that too. Like he'll drop like a one song, then another song, then another song, and then disappear for like 7 years.
Yeah. Yeah, my
Then
son was
come
a
back and
baby.
drop some fire though.
Yeah, dropped the hardest verse you ever heard, man.
Exactly. That was the hardest verse on the Donna album.
Yeah, I think
Mm-hmm.
that's why I like it the most. Just the build up to it, and then when he starts rapping, and what Jay Electronica always blows me away with the stuff that he chooses to say. So
The
yeah, that
vocabulary.
was
That's why.
anticipated. Yeah, the vocabulary, and just like the Muslim stuff that he throws in there, the religious
Right.
things, and then he'll just throw. Like he won't give you the whole thing, but then he'll just like dip like a say like a chicken nugget into barbecue sauce. Either bloop
Right. Right.
on you like, oh shit, is that
Right.
barbecue sauce?
Right. He'll say a whole bunch of like thoughtful stuff and then drop a hood bar right in the middle of it, then go back to the thoughtful. I get exactly what you're saying.
Yeah. So I mean, hip hop. I'm talking a lot about hip hop. That's what I do on the show too. I don't really just talk about the Knicks, but there's always a way to bring things back to basketball, to the Knicks, and it's just a big culture thing.
Hmm.
Basketball, all this other stuff, graffiti and all this other stuff. Everything all comes back they all come back to each other. They all on the same wave.
Right.
Yeah. So and just the creative thing, with Kanye and just just like Marbury, his creativity, the way that he does the way that he played basketball, his creative manifestation, into
Hmm.
the game and stuff. It could be like parallel to how we are as fans, how we put our energy back into the sport and back into the Knicks and things like that.
I can see that.
Yeah. So I mean, I just don't get like when say like after we said all that, just I love talking about music and stuff. So it just takes like somebody to give you a different perspective. Like you said, gospel album for Kanye. So
Hmm.
that just started triggering. It just triggered a whole bunch of thoughts. It's like,
It makes more
wow,
sense once you think of it as a gospel album. It makes way more sense because it's not
right,
a hip hop album, right? If you go in look, if you're going in thinking that it's going to sound like Late Registration or even Dark Twisted, like you're just wrong. Like that's not going to happen.
Right. So
But hold on, I'm gonna cut you off. But on the flip side, you can listen to Drake last album and it'll sound the same as every album he's ever put out. But you don't knock that, but you'll knock Kanye. It all depends on who you're asking. That's what I was trying to say before. It all depends on who's listening and who you're asking.
absolutely,
All of Drake's albums sound exactly the same. All of them.
I would never know.
So,
Yeah, I literally never clicked the Drake
man,
song.
click on the song, man. It's good music, man. You just gotta listen to it.
You know, it has to do with where you come from too. Is it like you're 42, right? What part of Brooklyn you from?
Best High. So I know exactly what you talk about. Yeah, Drake is not for us. I get it.
Yeah, I grew up in East New York, man, in the 80s and 90s. You know what I'm
All
saying?
right,
Drake
right.
is nowhere near.
Yeah,
Drake,
it's not the
Drake
same
can't walk
thing.
down the block. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly,
He can't walk down the block.
We don't like people. Where we come from, Drake is the epitome of what you're not supposed to be.
Yeah,
That's why people in our age range don't like him at all because of the stuff that he's talking about. Like when you start dirty macking and start talking to girls and every song, start harmonizing and singing and stuff. We don't, people around our age don't want to hear that. That's all. That's not how we grew up, man.
absolutely, man. With the like what? You know what I'm saying? Would drag you down the block.
Man.
Yo, man, drag you down the block, take your sneakers and all that, man.
Right.
You know,
like he definitely couldn't walk around like Bed-Stuy or not even Crown Heights. He couldn't walk around nowhere, I don't think. Not in Brooklyn.
nowhere.
Not back then, no. But he wouldn't have came out like that back then, though. Times changed.
Yeah, that's very
It
important.
wouldn't have
to
been
it.
no Drake like that back then. No.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if he was, he wouldn't be as famous as he is now.
So speak on that, man. So I mean, what do you think? Like, okay, is Drake a lyricist? Is he for real a lyricist?
Mm-hmm. He is very much so. He's a very good rapper. It's just that since he does all the other stuff, you don't want to hear that part. Just like you said, you don't want to click play, but on the very first song, he raps for like a good 5 minutes.
Would you say he's an MC?
Yeah, he really is. He just does that and other stuff too. You know what I'm saying? Like he can control the crowd. Like he does stadiums and stuff. So yes, he's an MC and he can actually rap, but he does the other stuff. So it kind of takes away from the rapping, if that makes sense, because you don't like it.
Right.
That's all. But he does rap, Eru. Yes, he raps, bro.
All right, I believe you. I believe you.
He raps.
I believe
I'm not saying he's the best rapper, but he raps. He's good.
All right, I'll take your word for it, Jerome. Yeah, man. But I'm just thinking about him, the way that he's perceived and stuff like that. So, if we can bring it back to basketball, like just it only takes like somebody just to have like an opinion, to snap everybody out of it.
It depends. It's usually opinion you hate though. It's usually opinion you don't like.
Right.
Like Evergreen said, we gonna win the championship. Of course, if you put that in the title, everybody's gonna hate on that shit as soon as they read it. Or I don't know. State said he's going to be a Hall of Famer already. You know what I'm saying? Once you hear that, like I get it. You're supposed to, depending on who you are, I actually think you're supposed to speak stuff into existence like that if you really think that's going to happen. It's just a lot of people are not going to say that.
Right. But you can grab somebody just by saying the right thing, though. Like saying that RJ's a Hall of Famer, like it sounds crazy, but then once we start talking and we get into the conversation, somewhere in the conversation we have that eureka moment where it's like, oh, okay.
His trajectory is on. He's almost at 20 points a game already. He's only 21 years old.
Right. Well, here goes Candyman, bringing Frank back into the conversation, right? So,
okay,
right. So people are still talking about Frank up until almost now. But what was the point where Frank was out of the conversation?
He's still in the conversation, I guess, but I don't know why I don't understand why he's still in the conversation. Why are people still talking about Frank Ntilikina? He's never done anything for me to be on the hive like that. I don't get it. I don't get the Frank hive at all. I'm sorry, at all.
Me neither.
He hasn't done anything.
He hasn't done anything. The only thing he's done maybe is like maybe he put a little bit of like Nunal in his hair or something. I don't know. S curl, maybe S curl. Look like he
Yeah,
got S curls.
he dresses nice.
Yeah, it looks like he smells good. What do
Right,
you
he's
think
a
about that?
dashing young man, but that doesn't mean he's good at basketball, man. Like, I don't get it.
He's a dashing young man. Yeah, let me write that shit down.
He's a
Dashing.
dashing young man, but he was never good. He was never good at anything but playing defense. And then I don't know. Sometimes you used to get cooked in too. Like, you got to take the good with the bad, but it was mostly bad when it came to Frank.
Right. So for me, the point where everybody kind of fell off with the Frank conversation, but they still fighting for him, is when McBride came into the equation. Once we drafted
Oh
McBride,
yeah,
now people
yeah,
forgot about Frank.
yeah. Deuce will make you forget about Frank though. Deuce is nice. If I'm not, I'm the type of person. I'm not really. I wouldn't be on a hive on somebody. Like if you mess up, I'm gonna say you messed up. If you do good, I'm gonna say you do good. But I like Deuce. I like Deuce before we drafted him. Like I watched him at West Virginia, and I think he can play. I was glad we. I actually it was between him and Sharif Cooper though. I like Sharif Cooper too. So if we would have drafted either one of them, I would have been fine. But now that we got Deuce, I'm straight without having Sharif. Like he locked him up in the summer league. I saw that, so I'm glad we got Deuce.
Yeah,
And
this guy
I'm a
do.
Grimes fan also because I'm the type of person I watch like high school. I've been watching Grimes since he was in high school, and when he went to Kansas and flailed out and all that. Like I followed him ever since high school too. We just happened to draft him, so I think he's good too. He's going to be all right.
All right, so segue to Grimes. What is your opinion on Grimes? Like,
I really like him, man. He plays defense. He got a little jumper. He's not as athletic as you might want your two guard, but think about Allen Houston maybe. He kind of shades of that. I actually think he's a better defender than Allen Houston was, especially when he came out of college. But that's the type of vein that I see him in. He's just a shooter.
right. So there's no Grimes hive happening with that.
No, it's no Grimes. I don't know why. Seems like it should be. He's first round pick. I think he could score. Killed in the summer league, but nobody thinks he's going to be good for some reason.
Yo, my first impression is that he was trash.
I know. I remember. I didn't know why you felt that way. I don't know.
Well,
Did
to
you
me,
see
like,
him at all in high school or college?
see, that's the thing. I want you to get into the high school and college thing because first impressions. I remember him when he was in Kansas, and then
Hmm.
he had the red shirt and he transferred to the school that he got drafted for. But he was decent. I thought he was a good player. Same things that we see in the summer league he was doing at the time. In
Hmm.
Kansas or whatever. But just watching him in summer league, he had this move that he kept doing, like this little move that he
The
kept,
in and out, the in
the
and
little
out.
in and out move down. And I'm looking like, yo, this guy's
You
trash.
have
This
to
guy is
work
complete
on it,
trash.
man. It worked in Houston. It's not going to work in the NBA. That's all.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he got away from that though. Like as the games came by, he found the rhythm of the game. As soon
Hmm.
as that it happened, like around the third game, a little bit the second game, but the third game, he really like figured it out.
Right.
So he really got into a flow, and he stopped doing that, and he just like let the kind of not necessarily let the game come to him, but he's a type of guy that attacks the game.
Hmm.
He's engaged, and he's constantly in the game. Like he
Hmm.
might not score or he might not get the steal, but you
Hmm.
at the end of the game, you would think that he got like 40 steals at the
Right.
end of the game or like whatever. He's just that type of guy. So that he gained my respect, definitely.
And he's a good rebounder for his size too. I like his tenacity on defense, and he's a very good rebounder. I think he can. I think, and plus because of that, I think he can play some of the three also, not just the two.
Right. So let's say if we didn't have Burks, or let's say if we didn't get Burks and I don't know if Quickly wasn't here, or let's say we didn't resign Rose. Do you think that these two guys, starting with Grimes first, do you think that it would be in the rotation?
Yeah, they would probably have to be, especially if we had already got rid of Reggie Bullock. Grimes would be in the rotation because he could score, and we need
Yeah.
shooters. So as long as he can shoot, and the shots are falling, and he plays defense, I think Tibbs will give him minutes. But now I think he's going to be buried on the bench and not get that many minutes. I don't think him and Deuce are going to play at all hardly, unless we get injuries, and that's pretty much about it.
Yeah, I agree with that. But one thing about them, I do trust them. That's the one thing.
Hmm.
Like let's say if that was to happen and they did get time, I would trust them to get out there and do what they do.
Right. Sims too, Jericho Sims too. Like I
Yeah.
trust him too. I trust him getting the rebound, or if he goes up for a lob, I trust him to catch it. He's not like Noel that can't catch anything. Noel can't catch a cold, fam.
He can. I don't think I've ever seen him sick, right?
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like every time a oop come up, I never expect Nerlens Noel to come up with the oop.
Yeah, he gets devoured too, man. Like, if anybody's a little bit strong, not even a lot strong, if they just tall a little bit, he's like made into nothing.
Right,
You know,
frail.
yeah, they push him underneath the basket and he just kind of disappears until out of nowhere he gets a block or something like
Right.
that.
And then Jericho Sims, you act like it seemed like nobody could move him. That's a strong kid, man.
Yeah, I think that's the most impressive thing with him is that his just his ability to seal off his area. I freaking
Right.
love it.
Strong as hell.
Yeah. And just like he looks like and he also looks like he smells like shit too. You know what do you
Right,
think
like he
about
just
that? like if he walks by, it's like, God
because
damn.
his hair is just a wild ass afro, and he just looked like he can't play basketball. He just to me he looked like he can't play basketball
Yeah,
until he go there. He doesn't look that athletic to me, but he can hit his head on the rim.
right.
That means a lot.
Yeah, he just looks weird, man. He just looks like he walked by and be like, God damn, did somebody take their shoes off? Or like, yo, did you step in something? Nah, man, you know. Then you
That's
get on the
me.
court, you're like, oh snap, it's this guy,
Right.
you know?
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, so back to the McBride and the Hive thing, just the phenomenon with that. As soon as he came in, people just stopped talking about Frank, and then like they're more talking about McBride, and they think McBride can start, and they think this, that, and the other. But what happened to Frank? What made people,
Him getting his ass kicked off the roster made them stop talking about him. Like Frank, it was time for Frank to go.
yeah,
He hasn't even been picked up by anybody. I think he's going to play overseas.
yeah, and he hasn't even signed overseas yet either.
No, he's not an NBA player. I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't even think that he's going to even get a shot overseas like that. Because I mean, I don't see what he does. I mean, and then he can't stay healthy too, man. So I mean, he didn't even play really too much overseas. They didn't rely on him at all in France.
Right.
By this time, he should be automatically a starter for them over there in
Right.
France.
Because in the Olympics, in the championship game, I don't even think he played, right?
No,
I don't think so, yeah.
yeah, it's crazy, man. So it takes all of this for people to understand, or just to get off it, just to snap the energy off of that topic,
Yeah, he got to be completely off of the roster. Now I guess Knox is next. Because
Oh,
we have a
man.
Knox Hive also, which I actually like Knox. I like Knox more than I like Frank. Knox
Yeah,
actually has skill, has talent. It's just his motor and his want to is his problem, I think.
yeah. It looks like he eats his boogers.
Right, like he look young, like he still look like he shy to talk to girls and shit. Like
Yeah,
he just shy. He seems like a shy teenager still.
yeah. Like, did you drink your juice, Knox?
Right.
Oh, I forgot.
Which
Like,
which was kind of okay at first because when we drafted him, I think he was the youngest player in the league, but he's not the youngest anymore. Like this is your fourth year now. Like
so do you think there's an outside chance for him to actually, step up into anything, to become anything for us?
yeah, not here though. I think he's gone from here. I think it's over for him. Like unfortunately, because I like Knox, but I think he's going to go somewhere else and be better.
Well, that adds to that too, man. Because if you want to look, if there could be anything that people could talk about and really focus on,
Mhm.
is the backup forward position. Because Obi, still really has to prove that he is who he is, and then there is no backup small forward. The
Yeah,
backup
that's
small
true.
forward is Burks.
Burks would be all. I think they're going to play Burks all over the place. He was playing the one for us last year,
Yeah.
so I guess it's 1, 2, and 3 for him. Ob, yeah, even though he's not a 3, but he's going to have to play some. He's
So
not a 3 though.
right.
No
You know
way.
what I hear people talking about Julius Randle being the 3 and let Obi play the 4. What do you think about that?
I can see that because Julius Randle was definitely a 3 more than Obi is, but I don't know. I think Julius Randle he can play 3, 4, or 5 depending on the lineup. I think it just depends on who else is on the floor.
But is Obi a 4?
Obi doesn't have a position. Obi's just a basketball player. He's not a 4 either because he's not strong enough. He doesn't rebound good enough. Yeah, so he's not a 4. Like he's a 4, but he's not your typical 4. Like he's like the new age 4. Like he's a stretch. He's not gonna bang anybody down low. I don't think I've ever seen him post up anybody and was successful at all. Like I seen Obi just lose the ball. Like he was too weak for a guard one time, like a point guard. I forgot who it was. He couldn't
Not one
post him
time.
up.
Not one time. It was more than one
Like on
time.
the switch, they'll give him the ball. He couldn't do nothing with it. He just passed it back out. I was like, "What are you doing? Like you're 6 inches taller than this dude. Just jump over him." He couldn't do that.
Yeah. He kind of plays like a kid with a shitty diaper. You know the way he runs up the court. He kind of runs up the court like that, like he got a diaper rash. You know, like he needs some.
Just wild.
Yeah, I don't know. But I'm joking around. I do a lot of joking around and stuff. But Kevin
Mm,
Knox and Obi, they both have the talent to do something for us. But it's just a matter of them just finally snapping out of it.
true. I think Obi has more dog in him than Knox does, though.
That I agree with definitely.
I think Obi was just, I don't know, the lights was too big or whatever, but I think he can play. I think he'll be all right. He's just weak. He just needs to get stronger. Other than that, I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, he's not soft. I don't think you would label him as soft or anything like that.
Right. He's just weak. Like, it's a difference between being soft and weak. You know that.
Yeah, like he's like the term big for nothing, man. Shout out to guys that are 6'4", 300 pounds, man. I'm still hating on you, man.
Big for nothing. I'm not moving nobody around, so I'm big for nothing right now. I'm just talking
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
microphone.
Yeah, but that's what people say though. That's what we say. That's a saying from our generation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying. But if you tell somebody in this generation now, oh, big for nothing, they automatically get into the you a hater or whatever. Then they
Right.
kind of like the gang mentality, and then now it turns into they disrespecting you. But then when you snap, you start evil ranting. They're like,
Right.
yo, man, what's wrong with this guy? This guy is crazy.
Right. That's just how social media is now, man. Like, people will say something just to get under your skin just cause. Whether even if they didn't disagree with you, they'll just type it anyway to see your reaction.
Right.
Which is
Like
good for you because you go from 0 to 10.
you know what I heard? I heard not heard, on Twitter. Everything is I heard, but it's on Twitter. On Twitter
Right.
they were talking about Jordan and they had like a meme of Jordan's scoring whatever. And then like this thing that they say that he did that against plumbers. You know?
Plumbers.
Right.
Yeah, they ain't watched the NBA back then. Who's a plumber back then
Yeah. I
in
mean,
the early 90s? Like,
yeah, and if you're talking about early 80s and 90s, even a little bit of the 70s, there was a lot of athletes in this league. They only keep
right,
talking about the same five players. Jordan Magic, Bird, this and they keep talking about the same guys. There's like hundreds, if not thousands, of great players that played this game.
right, exactly. A lot of people don't talk about Dominique Wilkins enough for me. Talk about athleticism. Like, he was dunking on whole teams at one time, and people don't talk about him because he didn't win. Like, he wasn't a winner.
Atlanta don't even talk about him.
Exactly. They don't talk like they act like Trey's the best player they ever had. Like, y'all had Dominique Wilkins, fam. Like,
Yeah, they
he should
had.
have a statue out there.
He should have, by minimum, he should have a freaking statue.
He's the
It should,
only reason we talked about the Hawks at all.
yeah.
At all.
Yeah, I mean, they don't even talk about Joe Johnson. They don't talk about any of their guys. Jared, was it Josh
Right.
Smith and all those guys? They had a decent team.
Hmm.
Matumbo, I think Matumbo's the only guy they ever mention when they talk about Atlanta.
Damn, I forgot he even played over there. You're right.
Yeah,
Right.
you have to dig that deep to think of a player. They only talk about Matumbo really.
That's when
Steve
they had
Smith was there.
the big ugly uniforms with the big Hawks joints on it. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, Steve Smith was on the team. We bust their ass in the
Right.
playoffs back in the days. Shout out to Pistol Pete. They had Pistol Pete.
Oh, that was a little before our time, though.
Yeah, but
I don't
if you
remember
want
the
to talk,
P days.
yeah, but if you want to talk about plumbers, like even that era, Pistol Pete era, there were a lot of great guards and a lot of great players during that time. But
It
let's
was.
say even going further back, I can't think of the guy's name at the moment. But when they won their championships, when they were in St. Louis, they had this white guy. I keep forgetting his name. Maybe somebody in the chat will pull it up. But he's like one of the 50 greatest players in the NBA at the when they announced it. He's a power forward.
Pay for St. Louis?
Yeah, St. Louis Hawks, way back in the day. That's when they won their championship.
Not Bob Pettit?
Yes, Bob Pettit. Yep.
Okay.
That's the
Gotcha.
name I'm looking for. So I mean,
Hmm.
back then you can argue that they played with plumbers back then, because they weren't making no money back then. Guys
Yeah,
were like
yeah.
substitute teachers and shit
I
like
get
that.
that. Yeah. Butchers and shit. Like,
Literally butchers, bro.
right, right. I used to say that about baseball all the time. People talk about Babe Ruth. I hate that.
Yeah,
Especially when we talk about like the Negro Leagues and stuff like that. People talk about Babe Ruth. Like, Babe Ruth was pitching and hitting against like butchers and people that sold shoes in the offseason.
yeah. Yo, they were like it was like they were selling stuff out of the trunks of their car or whatever, you know,
And
like
then
they were
played the
selling
game.
watches.
And then
Yeah,
played the game.
yeah. If they had social media, they would have had stuff on freaking Facebook, marketplace and all that other
Right.
stuff,
They were
you know.
selling platters and shit. They were selling food platters, man.
Word up, yeah. Their wife was cooking for the team, and they had got $5 plates, yo,
Exactly. That's how it was. Like people need to make money.
yeah. But in the era of Jordan and stuff like that, because the reason why they think that because they only mention certain players, and then you see Bill Laimbeer, and then he's like the poster boy. They see him, he ain't got no muscle tone,
Right.
and he's like punching guys like this and stuff in all the videos that they show.
They
But
think
that's
everybody was as athletic as Bill Laimbeer.
yeah, they think Laimbeer was like the epitome of like a big man back then,
Right.
you know.
Disgusting. Nah, that's just because people that just don't know, especially younger people. They don't know. They didn't see it,
Right,
and they're not going to do the research to look for it because it's on tape.
right. So who do you blame? Is there someone to blame for that? What do you think?
I can blame us. It's just like our parents before us when it comes to like music, sports, and stuff like that. You're always going to think your era is the best, regardless of who you are and what era you grew up in. Like your
Did you
parents thought their music and sports people were the best too.
right? But growing up, did you ever feel that way? Did you ever feel that way? Like oh, our era was better. Did you ever feel that way? Because I like that music growing up.
No, I like that music back then too. I grew up on that music. Yeah, so I guess maybe I'm wrong. I guess it depends on how we grew up. The times, like the times now, like our kids, how much they're gonna love our music. Like we was
Right.
talking about our kids before the show. Like I have a 11 and a 9 year old. Yeah, they don't listen to the stuff that I listen to at all. But on the flip side, when I was their age, I always listened to the stuff my mom used to listen to. I guess
Yeah.
maybe they have too much stuff to look at, and they have tablets, phones, they have everything to have their attention on other stuff other than you. So they don't really care about what I'm doing right now.
Yeah. They basically could be self-sufficient with
Right.
themselves.
My daughter is about to be 11. She's 10, going on 11. Her birthday's next week. She's going on like 30.
Yeah. You want to hear a stupid story, bro?
Go ahead, yeah.
All right, so I have an older son, right? So
Mhm.
I'm gonna maybe exaggerate the story a little bit,
Okay,
just
okay.
for the sake of the
That's what
story.
stories are all about. Let's go.
Yeah, yeah. So here goes the story, right? So I get a call from his mom, whatever. His mom wants to know, yo, I think there's something wrong with whatever. I said, okay, all right, let me find out what's going on. So anyway, long story short, I'm thinking he's selling drugs. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I'm preparing. I'm in that mode. I'm preparing for this. I'm preparing
Okay.
for going down this rabbit hole. I'm gonna be hiding behind trees and stuff like that, doing this thing. You
Hmm.
know, East New York is coming back. So oh my God, I'm a bad father. This, that, and the other. So anyway, long story short, with that too, do you know what they were doing? What him and his friends were doing?
What?
They were going to the freaking Salvation Army, right? Picking up like I don't know, like little trinkets and little toys and little bears and like old video games, and
Okay.
they were reselling them.
Oh.
That's what I said. So I
Yeah,
mean,
you can't even be mad at that. Like,
that's what I'm saying, man. So it's like, it's a disconnect. Some you can like this like blame from us because we're supposed to teach them whatever. But like you said, that phone and the internet, it
right.
makes them self sufficient. So he feel like he don't need to ask me for nothing because I could just go
Right.
buy this Teddy Ruxpin that I saw at the thing and get $400 for it. You
Right.
know. And my,
My,
my
my
boy got a debit card because he gets allowance, so they put the money on his debit card. They was
really?
crazy with it, man. I was like, what?
He had a card?
Yeah, like they were giving allowance, right? So the parents was putting like $10, $5 on the kid's card.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how they use the card to put it on the thing, so
That's
they
crazy.
could do business that way. What
My
the
son, my
fuck?
son, my son is 8, about to be 9, and he already asked me if he wants his own YouTube channel. And I don't think he need me to run it. Like I don't like he's just asking me because I'm his father. But like if he wouldn't have said anything, he probably would have set one up himself.
Yeah, absolutely. We have family controls on the tablets and stuff.
Hmm.
So if they wasn't there, because they'll do it on the they'll upload. I said, what are you doing? But I forget now they know how to read now, so they get into that. So
Right,
now
right,
they know how to read. So they basically, one day I might, be scrolling, I might see my son doing
right.
like, some
Exactly.
shit on YouTube.
Hide the passwords to all that stuff because when you type it in, they can read it now. They can see it. Wasn't like
Yeah,
that before.
yeah, it's a whole different world, man. Yeah, but I mean, like I said, there is a disconnect. So that's why like these young people, they all kind of like go crazy, and then they start ganging up. In the comments, it always goes down in the comments. You post anything, next thing you
Mhm.
know, the comments are going crazy. You can't even fight back because it's just like a mob of one thought just being shot back at you.
Right. Especially it depends on what the subject is and what you're talking about.
Right.
Right.
Like the music thing, like that's why I was bringing up Kanye and stuff because like I'll say Kanye is trash, and then somebody would say, "Yo, man said that Kanye's album was trash, LOL," and then
Right.
that starts the freaking chain
Exactly.
reaction.
Like I said, it all depends on who's listening. To them, you're nuts.
Right,
Now I'm saying that you to them like you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know music at all. But when you listen to it, you're like, man, that shit was trash. Like I
right,
can't help it. Like if it's trash to you, it's trash to you.
yeah, and then they say, "All right, OG," you know,
Exactly. Now you're the old man that hates the young music, even though Kanye old as hell too.
right. He's older than us,
Yeah, that's
actually.
what I'm saying. Like he in his 40s also. So, but it's for the youth.
Right. But that annoys me too, though, because I mean, I see guys like Big Daddy Kane. I'm looking at him. He's like doing videos with J. Cole and stuff like that. I'm like, yo, you still
Yeah, I saw
rap,
that.
bro? Could you put out an album?
That would be nice, but I guess it's like, what would he put one out for?
Me and you.
See, nah, see, you can't do that. They would never put out an album for me and you.
But he's Big Daddy Kane. He don't need to get a record deal. He could just make an album.
Yeah, that's true. But it still take time and money is that like for example, today AZ came out. I know you're familiar with AZ. I don't know if you listened to it because it just came out today.
He's from East New York.
Right. So I know you knew it came out. So
Yeah.
did you listen to it?
Yes.
Okay, and you probably love it, right? It's probably dope.
Well,
Eh, it was for me.
yeah. The beats, I think.
Right. Not because of him. It's the beats. Usually, I tell my guys this all the time. Usually, when it comes to rappers, when it comes to how good their albums are, if you like the rapper, it's usually sonically and the music that you don't like if you don't like the album. It's never their lyrics or rap because you can listen to AZ. If you like AZ, you can listen to AZ rap all the time. It just depends on what he rapping on, whether you think the song is good or not.
Right.
So yeah, this album is like but nobody under 29 has listened to that album. But he did not make that for you and me. You know that, right?
Yeah, he made it for the young boys, and that's the problem, though.
Right.
Now.
That's the problem. He's never gonna make music. Music is not supposed to be made for us. Not like that. Not in hip hop. No.
But that's bad, man.
Because we're not
Like,
the ones that go to shows and stuff. Like we're not
well,
gonna
we the
spend
one that got
money on
money.
that.
We the ones that have the
Yeah.
money. The young guys don't got money. They're getting the money from us so they can go and watch those shows.
Yeah, that's true. But we gotta give it to him.
But if just everything connects back to basketball. 'Cause it's very parallel. Because I mean, basketball is the same basketball. Nothing changed really. Maybe
Nothing
guys
really
got a
changed.
little
Yeah.
bit. Yeah, maybe guys got a little bit more athletic. Maybe their feet don't hurt as much. Because now they got fancy shoes. Before they were playing in freaking hoofs and
Right.
things like
Right.
that.
Exactly. Can you
Hip
imagine
hop.
playing? Can you imagine
Yeah,
playing in Chuck Taylors? Fam,
I
like
mean,
imagine playing in Chuck Taylors, fam.
I'm glad I got
That's
insurance.
disgusting.
That's the first thing that came to
Uh,
my mind that I got insurance.
Imagine what your feet look like.
Your spine, your back, the sciatica.
Exactly.
God, man.
They didn't even know what sciatica was back then. Man.
Yeah, I know what it is now, though.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But like the connection, like hip hop is still the same hip hop. It's just maybe different people playing around with it, but it's
Yeah,
still the same hip hop from back in the days.
it is. It just depends on like who's making it. Like times have changed now. Like I just for people that's our age, we can't expect younger people to sound like we used to sound. That's not how it worked. Just
Right,
like we didn't sound like our R&B did not sound like Marvin Gaye.
right,
Just did. It's different. Like you have to change it. It has to sound like something else. Our R&B is great, obviously, but it's just not Marvin Gaye. Just like Marvin Gaye didn't sound like Buddy Holly. Like it all different. It's all different as it goes and goes and goes.
right. But at least you can still identify it as that,
Yeah,
as R&B.
yeah, true. And,
Different painters.
right. But now that hip hop is a culture, and since rap has blended into R&B, that's where people in our age group, like you said, don't like Drake because he's blended the two.
Right.
So that's when it gets tricky.
Yeah, Kanye West too with the whole gospel. You said
Right.
gospel, man. That freaking it just clicked so many like circuit breakers in my mind that
Right. It's a
it kind of
gospel
freed
album.
me from that. A little
Right.
bit when you said that, it freed me from my own.
People who's clicking on that thinking they're gonna find a boom bap album is that's Kanye is not that type of person anymore. He's changed. We just don't want to admit it.
Right,
Like he's telling you in your face that he's changed. We just don't believe him.
right. So he's the top of the food chain. So do you think people are just do you think he's just like a chief influencer? Like he just like has the grip on culture so much that whatever he do, people just follow that.
Hmm.
Do you think that's is with him?
It's like that with everybody that's on top. Drake is the same way. That's why Drake can put out the same album every time he puts out an album, and it will be the hottest thing ever. Like this past
Yeah.
album that came out, it sounds exactly the same. And I'm not saying that it was whack or anything, but it sounds the same. Like usually when stuff sounds the same, we usually don't like it unless it's the top person. That's all.
Right. So I mean, to relate it to basketball, do you think do you think that's the same thing in basketball?
Nah, because when it comes to like basketball, when it comes to individuals, like LeBron obviously gets his fair share of praise, but he gets the most hate out of everybody also. I wouldn't say that Kanye or Drake gets the most hate out of everybody, but maybe I don't know. Maybe because whoever's on top deserves the most hate and the most praise because the number one when it comes to attention, everybody's paying attention to them.
Right.
Like you said with Jordan, like he went up against what you say. What do you say he went up against?
Plumbers.
Plumbers.
Shit.
Yeah, he went up against plumbers. That's just because they were just paying attention to Michael Jordan.
Right.
He obviously wasn't playing against plumbers. Like Clyde Drexler wasn't no damn plumber. Like
Yeah.
Joe Dumars was not a plumber. Like he played against like Reggie Miller. He played against other Hall of Famers. He was just better than them.
Yeah. Shout out to Isaiah Thomas, all these different guys. People
Right.
think basketball started with Steph Curry. They think Steph Curry is the one that started basketball. Nobody before, you know.
That's an age thing again.
Yeah.
Like imagine if Zeke played now with
He'll
the same
probably be the
skill set. You know what I'm saying? Imagine if he was the type of player with the same skill set, but he focused on shooting threes more. They didn't
he'll,
focus on shooting threes back then. That's why they didn't shoot them.
yeah. And Isaiah's disgusting. He's a
Right.
nasty, nasty individual. So could you imagine what he would
So
be right now?
imagine with that skill set and his demeanor, he would be even worse than Chris Paul is. That like Chris Paul is nasty like that too. But I think Isaiah Thomas is just a better player. But he would be like Chris Paul times 10 now. People hate his guts.
I don't like him. To me, basketball is a dojo. To me, like if you play like, back when I was playing, you get
Hmm.
the same thing like when you play football. Once you suit up, the game plan, you prepare, you play this thing, you play this game, you know the game, and you get out there. To me, as soon as I step on the court, I'm in the dojo. Respect the game. My thing, I always say respect the game. If guys
Hmm.
start yelling, cursing at each other, and say, listen, man, if you ain't gonna fight, let's play. Yo, respect the
Exactly.
game. Like
Because to me, we ain't gonna fight. We just wasting time. I'm not here to talk to you. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like play the game. I get you. I understand that.
Yeah. I was known to take the ball and be out.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
leave too. I'm the
Yeah, I
type of
take.
person I leave too.
Yeah, gone. Yeah, man. So what I'm leading to now is the intimidation thing. So PJ
Okay.
Tucker, right?
Hmm.
What do you think about PJ Tucker?
I think PJ Tucker is good for what he does. He's like I don't know. I wouldn't say Draymond. Like the quote unquote tough dudes that rebound well, play good defense. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he's not an all star, but he's the type of player that people usually want on their team in order to win. Like he's poor man's Charles Oakley. No disrespect. You know what I'm saying? That's what he is to to this generation.
So with Charles Oakley didn't really do what PJ Tucker did, with all that yelling and talking. He was like literally spitting in Durant's mouth.
Yeah, that's and they cool off the court too. That's the funny part. Like, yeah, it's almost like Like, you're not tough. You're not going to do anything. You just had hiding my mom in the stands. Why are you yelling in my face like that?
Spitting in my mouth. Why are you spitting in my mouth,
Yeah,
bro?
why are you that close to me like that?
Yeah. So I mean, is that intimidation? Because Charles Oakley didn't do that. Charles Oakley would slap the shit out of you.
Right, that's
That's
what I'm
would be the
saying.
end of it.
And plus, it depends on who you're doing that to. You're obviously not intimidating Kevin Durant by yelling in his face.
Right.
You usually could get away with that with people like, lesser players that aren't good getting their heads and stuff. I don't think, once you're in the upper echelon, like, remember when Lance Stevenson was blowing kisses at LeBron and shit?
Yeah.
You think that really bothered LeBron James during that game? It didn't bother him at all. Like, but you have to do that because you have to do something. You can't stop him.
Yeah. Shout out to X-Man. Remember X-Man used to do all that cursing and stuff,
Xavier
headbutting
McDaniels.
people. Yeah, he was a crazy dude, man. You want to talk about PJ Tucker and all that? Yo, Xavier McDaniel, every time you look around, he was choking somebody.
Yeah, he choked Jordan out one time, didn't he?
Yeah.
Because I remember a picture of him and Michael Jordan on the floor. He had his hands around his neck.
What was that about, man? When he was in Seattle, he was stay doing that. He did that to one of these guys. The guy that did the 360 dunk for the first time in the dunk contest. I forgot the guy's name, but I think he played for Golden State, or if I'm not mistaken, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, they got into it, like they were on the floor. They got into a scuffle. But as they were getting up, Xavier McDaniel got his hand on his throat, like what?
Because he knew he could get away with it. He was a bully.
Right.
Hey, people like his teammates hated Xavier McDaniel. I heard stories of his teammates. He was fighting his teammates.
Yeah.
He used to bully them all the time.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess it's a culture thing, definitely a generational thing, just a totally different thing. Even the NBA was different because the NBA, all that choking and Xavier McDaniel never got suspended for none of that stuff.
Well, I mean, people was going through the whole getting clothesline and shit. They wasn't no suspensions. It wasn't even a foul.
Right. It was a common foul.
It was a common foul. Like,
If they called it.
You shoot too. That's all. That was it.
Right. So I mean, what's really intimidation? That all that yelling and spitting in the mouth stuff, or actually physically,
It could be both. I think it depends on who it is. Like, I don't know. Maybe I think when it comes to talent, like, you would have to get physical with Kevin Durant. All the yelling in his face is not going to do anything. His intimidation would have to be physical, I would think. Like, Charles Oakley probably could get under Kevin Durant's skin if he was physical with him, if he was close to the basket also. But yeah, yelling in your face, I think it depends on who you are. Like, to a lesser player, that might rattle you, but not for the most part, no.
right. To not to compare the two guys, but you can't really help it. Durant is the best offensive player of this generation. One of them at least. Is arguably. Jordan definitely was probably our greatest guy. So when the Knicks played him, the Knicks, they was physical with him. Oakley would be hitting him from the front. Freaking Mason is behind him. Greg Anthony's taking his feet from underneath him, and freaking Pat is pinching him from behind.
Right.
They were killing him,
Right.
and then plus he had to deal with Starks all game.
A lesser player with the thing of the difference between, like, the upper echelon player and the lesser player would have stopped.
Right.
Jordan is a nutcase. He doesn't care about any of that. He's trying to kill you, just like Kobe, just like Durant. None of that stuff really matters. I don't know about Durant because he wasn't as physical as Jordan and Kobe was, or at least could be. But yeah, I think it depends on who you are. Like, the upper echelon players, that does not bother them. Being physical doesn't bother them at all.
Yeah, they just that good.
People used to try to get physical with Allen Iverson all the time. He didn't care.
Yeah.
He was a killer. Like, he didn't care how physical you got with him.
Yeah. He didn't even work out.
At all. Didn't practice. Never saw Allen Iverson probably do any type of workouts at all. I've never seen it. There's no footage of it.
Yeah, I never seen him do shuttles or whatever. Only like after he got in trouble, then you would see the media and they're showing him walking back and
You know what I see? I think Olympic practice. I think that was it. That's because he had to. You know what I'm saying? He was on the Olympic team. I think he was running like suicides and shit with everybody. But other than that, nah.
Yeah. So I mean, so I guess it's just a different generation or whatever. But to me, it just irks me to see that I actually had a conversation with I can't get his name right now. Greg Armstrong. You know Greg Armstrong, right? The super Knicks fan. He got 28 years.
Yes.
Yeah. So I actually wanted to talk to him about this conversation, but he got kind of mad at me on Twitter. He was kind of going back and forth a little bit. I could see that was getting a little bit mad at me, and then I was getting annoyed too a little bit, because he was saying, "Nah, man."
What was this?
This was like during the playoffs.
Okay.
So I had made a post, just saying something like, "Yo, man, look at this, man. This is like garbage. This is not intimidation. This is bullshit." To me. And then we just kind of went on that rabbit hole. But he was like, "Nah, man, it's invitation. That's how you get people's heads, and that's how you do that." And like to me, I didn't grow up that way. If you're yelling and screaming like that, it's like, boop.
Right.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't work. We got to fight now.
I think that's I don't know. I hate to say it, but that intimidation is for almost people that's aren't that not tough.
Right.
Like I hate to say that because I don't want to make it seem like I'm some big tough guy, but I don't know. I think that's what people that intimidate people with. I don't know that they're doing that for a reason, but if you were actually tough and knew that they couldn't do anything, that wouldn't bother you at all. Like,
Right. But I don't think I get that the tough thing, but this is something a little different. It's not really necessarily tough as like in like the realm of like say like tough guys, street
mhm,
dude, that type of thing. It just the spirit that you have for yourself, maybe like the self esteem that you have in yourself, that you're not gonna
right,
just allow that to happen. So I said like
right,
like if somebody did something to me, like that yelling and screaming, I would just punch them. But
hmm,
on the same time, if Oakley and Mason and Greg Anthony are slamming me to the floor, I'm not jumping up to fight them. That's the game to me.
yeah, I got you. Yeah, I see what you mean. I don't
You
know,
know,
like say us an example for the Knicks when Chris. How did you feel when Chris Childs stole on Kobe,
I mean, I I
or is
got a I
that
got a
something different?
I got a T-shirt, man, of that I can never wear again. You know what I'm saying? I got a T-shirt right now that I could pull up that will never come out again because Kobe passed away and stuff.
Hmm.
But when it happened, I felt like it needed to happen because what the stuff that Kobe was doing, during that time, Kobe's a great player and this and the other, but when he was young, he was an asshole.
Right.
He used to
He
do a
was an
lot of
asshole when he
arrogant
was older
things.
too. I mean, you know, rest in peace. But he was an asshole when he was a grown ass man too. He was an
Yeah,
asshole.
yeah,
His whole career he was.
yeah. But it's just something about a guy like that. You like everybody knows a guy like that.
Yeah.
Or if you go to the park and you see that guy, oh, this fucking guy, and they say,
Right.
"Yeah, I'm here, I'm
Right.
here,"
Right. Right.
or you show up to the YMCA and the guy walks in, everybody goes, "Oh, this fucking guy,"
And he was doing a lot of stuff because he was getting away with it,
Right,
and that's why Chris Childs was mad because he was getting away with it. Like to the
right,
certain, like at the time, like once you do it like twice, like once you do it twice, I gotta fight you. Especially if he was younger and stuff like that. But Kobe stood there and took that two piece in the biscuit, took it on his chin, and kept playing. That's all.
right. You just move on from that thing. I,
Right.
I got another story too, another basketball story. YMCA, right?
Okay.
I used to play the YMCA that's on Columbus Circle. I used to
Hmm.
play it all the time. So anyway, there was a guy there. He kind of looked like Bruce Jenner, the freaking guy.
Hmm.
So anyway, we're playing half court, right? So the ball's not checked or nothing. So I'm
Okay.
just walking around. I'm just walking around while the ball's not checked. And so as soon as he checked the ball, he goes illegal screen. I'm like, what? Illegal screen? Like, what are you talking about? Illegal screen? The ball was in check. Oh man, you can't do that. You can't walk back and forth and whatever. So I'm like, man, get the fuck out of here. So we arguing and stuff like that. So anyway, we I gave it to them because I didn't feel like arguing. They really was like, nah, man. And then they're like explaining it to me. We're playing pickup at the YMCA. Where's the ref?
Call
The
it
ball's
legal
not checked.
screen.
Yeah, the ball's not checked yet. And me walking through the paint, he's saying that's illegal. I can't do that. So anyway, that's the backstory to what I'm gonna explain. So anyway,
Okay.
we're playing now. The ball's checked. So I'm doing the same thing now, but I'm waiting till the ball is checked. So the ball is checked. So I'm coming through. Every time I come through, the freaking guy gives me one of these when I come through the paint. Bam! Just in my chest. Right. So I said, yo, did he just elbow me? So as we playing, he did it again. So
You couldn't believe it.
I couldn't believe it. I said, this motherfucker just give me a chicken wing.
That's
Like
funny.
as I'm walking past, I mean, we're not, there's no ref. We're not playing in a tournament. This is just pickup.
Right. Right. Right.
So I get it. Like if we're playing in an organized scenario where I got a jersey on, what I'm saying, our team is trying to win and this and the other, the coach is involved, we got refs, and you come through and give me a little chicken wing,
Right.
that's a little different.
Because you're playing for
But
something.
yeah, we just playing a pickup game. You running down do a chicken wing. Yo, do I need to pull out my blade? Do
Yo,
I,
so wait, did the same dude who gave you the chicken wing, the dude who called the illegal shit?
yes,
The
the same guy.
nerve.
It's the same guy. So anyway, I let him do it twice. So once he did it the second time, the game was over now. So now I'm in the guy's
I
face.
told you twice. It's only I told you when it come to tough shit, it's only twice. They only
Right.
get away. You can't have a strike three. Because if it's strike three, everybody going to jail. I'm clearing this stuff. I'm clearing everybody out if it get to strike three.
There was a strike three. So there was a strike three. He did it. He did it again. And
No.
as soon as he did it, I had got the ball. As soon as I came around, he hit me again. I grabbed the ball. I immediately took it and freaking just popped him in the head.
See,
Bam! Right in his face. And then I'm rushing him. Now it's a big altercation and
see,
stuff. So I mean, the difference between that and say like if I'm driving to go for a layup and say he knocks me out the sky, or whatever, that's different because he might knock me to the sky and pick me up,
you,
or
so you beat up Bruce Jenner, fam? That's the moral of the story right there. How you beating up Bruce Jenner?
I'm the reason that he had the sex change.
Not see. Now you walking around with a bra on because you beat him up in the 80s and shit.
Oh my god! I'm sorry, everybody, man.
Messed up, man.
Yeah, but there's a difference between something stupid like that. That's a fight right there. But let's say if we're playing and he fouls me hard, I'm not gonna jump up and fight. That's a difference now. Yeah. That type of thing. Guys jump up and now they want to fight.
That's fake fight. That's fake tough guy. That's a whole bunch of hold me back stuff. That's all.
Right.
I don't think there is that many people in the league that would fight. To be honest, not on the court. Nah. Outside, yeah. Outside of basketball, I actually think there are some tough guys in the league. It's just natural. There are going to be, but on the court, in front of everybody, after like the Malice of the Palace and the stuff they probably will do to you if you did get in a huge fight like that, I don't think people want to swing. It's a whole bunch of hold me back.
Yeah. But at the same time, you could be physical and you could be tough, and you can still be that without having it to get to the fights. Because even though say I just saw the Derek Harper fight when he flipped Joe White, whatever his name was. Yeah, he flipped him because there was some other extra stuff happening that shouldn't have been happening. That's why that's what made him do that. But just basic, like tussling and stuff like that, grabbing people and pulling stuff, that's regular. That's just basketball.
Yeah, it's always interesting to see how fights start. Like I don't remember, but remember the big fight that the Knicks had with the Suns with Kevin Johnson and Doc Rivers. How did it start? I don't remember how it started. How did it start? Like it's always about how it starts, man. Somebody did something twice, and the other person got pissed off.
That's basically what happened. KJ was spicy too. He was spicy.
Of course he was. Yeah.
Yeah, but he was spicy, and then he would back it up as well. So right. Doc Rivers wasn't. People say that Doc Rivers he wasn't really that good. He made an All-Star team once.
No.
Yeah, he wasn't really that good of a player, and also too he was on the last legs on the Knicks anyway. But that's the backstory. But I mean, like it's just like outside of the realm of basketball stuff that starts those type of things. Because I mean, one thing talking junk, and playing and backing up, that's one thing. You can't get in the fight because the guy's busting your ass. That's not the reason. So
right.
There had to have been like something like little things. They said, listen, man, don't say it again or don't do it again. If you do it again, I'm gonna fuck you up.
Right. Kevin Johnson and Doc Rivers having a fight isn't normal. Like what was said, you know what I'm saying? Like Doc Rivers and Kevin Johnson ended up being like a senator or something.
Yeah, I think he's the governor of Sacramento.
Sacramento governor. I'm sorry.
Governor, or mayor, something like that. Whatever. The thing.
And Doc Rivers ended up being like a head coach. Like something happened between them that I just don't remember what happened. But that's funny to me.
Yeah, and it had to be bad too because Doc Rivers was telling Greg Anthony, and Greg Anthony was like, "Nah, fuck that. As soon as that happened, I'm fucking, Exactly. And that's exactly what he did. He out there fighting him in a rayon shirt and dress pants and stuff. This shit was crazy.
That time, they talk about all the time where Shaq swung on what Chuck swung on Shaq.
Yeah,
where he threw the ball at him.
Yeah, that was funny.
Somebody got tired of something. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody did something twice and got tired of it.
Yeah. Well, Shaq was a nasty dude too. Remember what he did to Chris Dudley?
Yeah, that was because it's Chris Dudley though.
Well,
I think he did that as an example.
Well, remember David Robinson? I don't know what he did to David Robinson. I saw a video somebody posted recently where Shaq did like a little drop step move and it came in and banged on him.
He fell. Yeah, I remember.
Well, that wasn't it. If you look at the clip, when Shaq turned around, he kicked David Robinson to the floor.
Yep. It was something between like he dunked on him in the All-Star game that time. He hated David Robinson. I could tell. I don't know if it was a Texas thing or what, because Shaq spent some time in Texas when he was in high school, I think.
Right. So I mean, stuff like that, it has to be some kind of backstory
No,
and
I
whatever.
think you know what it was. It was one time Shaq lied about this though. He said it was. I think it was all motivation because at the time I think you know when Shaq came in the league, everybody was getting old, all the big men. But David Robinson at the time was still kind of nasty. So I think at the time, I think he just used that as motivation. He said David Robinson like shafted him on a autograph when he was younger.
Okay,
And he said that as he was in the NBA, but I think after he retired or whatever, he said that that was false. He just used that as motivation because David Robinson was the person he had the most trouble with.
right. I think I remember hearing that. He
Right,
did pull that. He said that was a lie.
right. Like what motivation? Like Patrick Ewing was how old when Shaq came? Like he had no motivation to kill Pat Ewing.
Right.
He was old by the time he came in.
He went at Patrick Ewing though. They had their battles, but it was never
Yeah,
like, it was never
not
like
hate though. It wasn't
right,
hate. He didn't dislike Pat. They just had battles. He hated David Robinson.
right. So in order for something like that, like a fight, like you said, like how NBA fights start, there has to be something underlying, something that we don't know about, or something that we missed while we are watching the game.
Hmm.
That's been happening out there for that to go down.
And then Shaq, remember when he had the scoring title, but then David Robinson scored 72 just to beat him.
Right.
Like they had a
Yeah.
rivalry, man. They hated each other.
Yeah. I think I would want to whip his ass after that shit too.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like at the you scoring 72 points. Nah,
Yeah.
last game of the season. I'd
Yeah.
be pissed too.
Yeah. Definitely, man. So I mean, I guess that was really it, man. That's everything that I threw at you, trying to get out of you, you
Mhm.
you gave it right back to me, man. And I
Hey
freaking
man,
appreciate you.
I mean this is what I do, man. Like I've been doing this for so long. Uh, It is what it is, man. I had a great time. I love this show. Trying
I
to get
appreciate
Evergreen
you.
on here. Where Evergreen at? I see. Shout out to I'm looking at the chat now. Shout out to State in the chat.
Yeah.
Big Kev, Boost Mobile. My guys was in here, and Flaw was in here at one point. Yeah,
Shout
shout
out
out
to
to
Andy. Andy's always here.
yeah, man. Shout out to you, man.
Official floor 700 TV.
Yeah, that's him.
Yo,
Yeah, changed.
yeah. Since we wrapping up, man. Let me just say, I think floor 700 is fantastic.
Why?
You know what I'm saying? Not to sound like like a fanboy or whatever, man. But I mean,
Mhm,
like for real, like when you click people's pages, whatever,
mhm.
you already got your finger just about the X out. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But
Mhm.
but as soon as I clicked it, and you guys are talking, then I just like I said, I just sat back.
Right. Cause he's our
Now
A Mike. Flaw is the one who like when during our show, he's our A Mike. He's the one who gets us going like you do with your show.
right.
I mean, I would just be in the corner talking shit.
Yeah, but when he does it, he doesn't do it in such a way where he's like an asshole.
Right.
Most guys that are in that position, they really don't know what they're doing, or they just want it to be about them, and they forget about the other two guys. But I think
Exactly.
the way that you guys do it, he talks in such a way that allows you to get off whenever you want.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And then whenever Ant wants to get in there, Ant can get in there whenever he wants to, and spice it
Right.
up whatever what he brings to the table.
I kind of think we've been doing it so long. Like I even told him earlier today that most of our best shows are when we don't have anything to talk about. I think we
Word
kind
up.
of we've mastered like like I said before, if you talk to somebody long enough, I guarantee you and State can get on here and talk for 2 hours and not have anything on your rundown. Just by
Absolutely.
natural conversation because you guys talk to each other so long. You'd be amazed at how that can happen.
You're absolutely right, man. Like a lot of times, I'll ask him what he wants to talk about just so I can make a thumbnail. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Just so I can get the thumbnail together.
because at the end of the day, you just want to press record and and get rolling. Like it really doesn't matter what's on the docket. Like all the stuff that you was telling me that was going to be on the show today. Not to say I didn't care, but you could have said anything. I'm like, yeah, I'm on. What's up?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Well, the thing with me, I just don't want you to be surprised. So I don't want you to think that I'm just gonna hit you with certain thing and then you're just gonna
Hmm.
have to be like that. I just
Hmm.
want you to be prepared. Just in case whatever. Just as like a courtesy.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah. I
Because
get it.
yeah,
I
because
definitely
for
get it.
me, because for me right now, I have all the stuff that I wrote down. This is stuff that I wrote down since we've been talking. I didn't have no notes or whatever. Everything that I did went off of the top of the dome. Whatever. So
Those be the best times, man. I'm telling you. Like, I guess it all depends on who you're talking to or what you're talking about. But like, I don't know. I've come in a place. I've done this so long that I could pretty much talk about anything. So that's why I wanted to get on here, man. Because I know you was the type, and I could tell by how y'all talk. Like, it's not just about Knicks. Y'all talk about life stuff too. If
yeah,
it was just Knicks and none of your personalities didn't show at all, the show wouldn't be as good.
right. I embrace the whole OG thing. State calls me OG. I'll put State back up. He calls me OG. It kind of annoys me. You know what I'm
Why?
saying? But I get it now. I just get it. For everything that we said about the connection between different things, like I say, like the difference between yelling and screaming in somebody's mouth and actually fighting, or just
Right.
like knocking somebody to the ground. There's a difference between that. I can
Exactly.
knock you to the ground and we won't fight.
Exactly.
You know?
Especially if we playing the game. I expect you to knock me to the ground if we playing the same game. Like, I
Yeah.
don't expect you to be my friend while we're playing, but I don't know. I don't know if that was because how basketball is played now with AAU and stuff. Like, you're usually friends with the people that you're playing against now. Before it wasn't like that. Before, you didn't know the person. Like, I guess it depends on how good they was, but if you were a town over or something like that, you didn't really know them people like that.
Yeah.
No, but
When I was
now
a kid,
now everybody in the area and then some is on the same AAU team, and you've been playing with them since you were in the sixth grade.
yeah, all those NBA players are like that. They've known each other since they was like a
Right.
kid.
That's where you get the banana boat boys and all that.
Oh man,
They
Jesus.
literally they've known each other since they were teenagers.
Right.
It wasn't like that before. Isaiah Thomas ain't know Michael Jordan growing up. That's why they hated each other. He didn't care about him at all by the time he got to the league.
Absolutely. He wants to rip his head off. He want to
Right.
compete. It's a whole different
Now
thing.
now like they kids is dating and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I was saying they the Wu Tang clan.
Right.
Now I'm seeing they seeds is going with each other and they all a big family now. That's how the NBA
Yeah.
is, for the most
Yeah.
part.
Gary Payton and I forgot who was the other person that they got. Oh, Chris Childs. Gary Payton and Chris Childs' kids got married.
Yes, yes. You're right.
That bugs me out a little bit.
That's what I'm saying because they grew. You got to think about it, like they grew up in the same circles. They grew up in money for one thing. And if you're on the same team, all the kids go to the same school. They all have the same amount of money or whatever. Live in the same neighborhoods. They like all a big family. It wasn't like that before.
Right. Yeah,
That's
guys
why
had to
things
work.
changed, man.
Guys
Yeah,
had to
people
work.
had
They
to
had to
work. The
sell.
butchers and the shoe salesmen and the plumbers. Yeah,
Yeah. While they lining up at the free throw line, the guys like, "Yo, hey, Steve, man, you want to buy a watch, man? I got some watches in the
right,
thing,
right. Need to make some money, man.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Now they're not doing that. They go
Yeah,
on
man,
boat trips.
that's crazy.
Speaking of boat trips, I'm a Giants fan too, so boat trip is that's a hard subject for me also. You watch football at all? You a football fan?
After the Colin Kaepernick thing, I kind of side with me on football, but I'm
Really?
trying to get it back, because I like
Okay.
football. I like the competition. It's like a chess. It's like chess. It's like war.
Hmm.
So I enjoy football, but I gotta get back into it.
Nice. You're not. So were you a fan of a team, or you just like just
Giants,
watch it?
definitely.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
Giants.
Nice.
You know,
You
same
pick
thing.
well. You pick well.
Well, when it comes to sports, to say like I know a guy from India. He was born in India. He came over here, when he was a little kid and stuff like that. He's
Hmm.
a freaking Redskins fan. Which is kind of bugs me out because I'm like, a Redskins fan. You don't think that's racist or nothing like that? But he told me a story when he got here. Who was the black quarterback? What was his name?
Doug Williams.
Doug Williams. Doug Williams was the quarterback at the time, and they was winning at the time. So
Hmm.
he said that he'd never seen anybody with his, because he's dark skinned. He's like your complexion, but he's
Hmm.
Indian. You know what I'm saying? He said he'd never
Okay.
seen anybody with his complexion, in the spotlight like that. You know,
Ah, okay.
and
So
and,
Doug
and
Williams won the Super Bowl. So yeah, I get it.
yeah, so I totally get it. So that's the beautiful thing about sports. See, I mean, that's everything. I'm trying to connect all this together. The sports is not reality, bro. We got a lot of shit going on. I just came from India, dealing with the hardships that he had to deal with because they escaped. Well, because it's not really India. He's from Sri Lanka. So they
Hmm.
were in a freaking civil war. They were like genocide and
Wow.
shit going on over there. So he came over here, escaping the war and life that this over there to get a better life here in the States,
Damn.
which is amazing. So you find an outlet, and in football, and that's how we learn how to speak English and all that. Just watching the
Yeah.
Redskins,
Yeah.
so you can see the beautiful connection that you get through sports. So when people start complaining about all this and playing about that, you totally missing the whole point of this thing.
Right. I get exactly what you're saying. Like, I think for the Jets, right? Their young quarterback right now, Zach Wilson. Like his family is like a quote unquote Trump supporters
Right.
from Utah. You know, but at the end of the day, you got to throw all that shit out the window. Like he's the quarterback for the New York Jets. Like if you're playing for the New York Jets, that's your future right there. You don't care about his politics or anything like that. You can't.
Right.
Can't. Same thing with not Joey Bosa, Nick Bosa, his brother. He's a big Trump guy. People didn't care because he sacked the quarterback.
Yeah.
A whole bunch
Absolutely.
of that going on. Like when you have to not throw morals out completely or anything like that, but once you start playing the game, no matter what sport, like sport cancels all of that stuff. Everything that you was talking about, it cancels everything out. All of that goes out the window.
Yeah. The hat that you have in your head. We can be in a pit full of racists, man. But everybody, as a Nick fan, we in
It's
there
a Knicks
hugging and kissing
fan.
each other.
Yo, what's up? Like, what's shaking? What's going on? Everything. Don't matter what color you are.
Right. No matter what you believe in or what you feel outside of this, together,
Exactly.
we're escaping all that stuff to come together as a people. So that's the heart and soul of sports. That's the whole reason why we're here.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, amazing shit, man.
Look at you getting all philosophical and shit in the late night
Yeah,
hour. It's almost 11 o'clock. Look at
yeah, I
you.
know, man. Yeah, man. I do that sometimes, man. Like, I'm trying. I'm trying. I'm not. It's not that I'm trying. This is who I am. You can see that. This is off the cuff to that's going on here, man. So I
Hmm.
try. That's the reason why I started this whole thing, because the whole. I'm always talking about ESPN. You know what I'm saying? ESPN, all this other stuff. Shout out to Stephen A. Smith. He just had like a podcast with somebody else just shitting on Max Kellerman, saying the chemistry and all this other stuff.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
yeah, I never really like how you went about that, but it's just the drama that these guys create. So I didn't I got tired of it. What was like one of the last straws. I actually had a Twitter fight with Michael K. Michael K from
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
from
yeah.
the fan.
Did you?
So yeah, so this what
Okay.
happened. I guess last story, because like I said, we could sit and talk all night
Yeah,
long.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I'm
Look
saying?
at you got beef with Michael K. This is wild. I gotta hear this. What's
Yeah.
up?
So here's a story with Michael K. This is on a different handle. I was in Diehard Knicks at the time. So anyway, it was the Colin Kaepernick stuff. This is what soured me from football and stuff. So anyway, he was just going on talking about that Colin Kaepernick is a punk and this, that, and the other.
Hmm.
So but he just was not understanding the whole kneeling thing, what it's about. So I mean, that's a whole another conversation in itself. So anyway, he just ranting and going crazy. But his two, well, it was only one guy on the panel at the time. He was just kind of like, he didn't know what to say, because he kind of was sitting on the island. Now he wanted to tell him something, but he can't really
Okay.
say nothing because it's going to go crazy. And I'm quite sure somebody in his ear would say, "Don't say it, don't say it."
Yeah,
You know
they
what I'm saying?
they definitely had producers in their ear. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, telling him don't say it. So anyway, I got annoyed, so I went on Twitter and I just DM'd him. You know, I was frustrated, so I needed to get it out, because I was in the car driving or listening to it, because at the time, there wasn't really, I was searching for sports talk, so
Okay.
that's the only reason why I was listening to Michael K. So
Hmm.
anyway, he was, so while I'm driving, I'm in traffic. I sent him a message, man. I just was like, "Yo, you don't get it, blah blah blah. This is what's happening, blah blah blah." So anyway, they come back from commercial, and then he's pissed, like oh fucking. He's like, "Yo, I got this tweet from any star." That was my handle at the time.
That's funny, man.
From Twitter, and he like shouts out my whole government and everything, and then he says whatever. He starts going crazy. I'm like, what? No, who was there? What's the dude? The Rosenberg.
Oh, Peter Rosenberg. Yeah.
Yeah, he was there. That's when Rosenberg just started going on the show.
Okay.
Yeah, so Rosenberg was there. So after he started like killing me,
Hmm.
on a thing, then Rosenberg was like, now he had to say something now. So then Rosenberg was the voice of reason. So I felt good that Rosenberg kind of went, kind of said basically what I wanted to tell him. But
Hmm.
yo, he freaking was going crazy on me on the thing. I couldn't believe it. I was so mad. So at that point I was like, yo, I need to do something. Because like I need to fight an asshole like this. You know,
I see what you mean.
like
So
when you
you
talk about
decided. So after all that, you decided I'm gonna make my own show, and I see that. I get that. That's good. That's dope.
Yeah.
Not many people that wouldn't do that though.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of crazy to put yourself out there because
Yeah.
Michael K blew me up, and I'm nobody. You know what I'm saying? So it's a whole different story now. You come out there, people all over the world can see you. You say the wrong thing, now you by yourself on an island. So it
Right.
is it could be intimidating, or
No,
whatever.
it's no, it's crazy. I hate that you say that, right? Because you know how you say like you're nobody. It's
Right?
kind of crazy because all these people that we talk about at one point they were nobody too,
Yeah.
and they just had opportunities that other people, not saying that they were the only ones with opportunity. They made the best of their opportunities, so they just get to say it on TV in front of everybody. That's all.
Right.
Their opinions is no more stronger than anybody else's here.
Right. It hurts me to even say his name on my platform, because I mean, when you talk about like just they just happen to capitalize on whatever and they on TV and stuff. I don't listen to any of them. I don't watch them.
Hmm.
I don't tune into ESPN. I say their network's name, but I never tune into it. If
Hmm.
I see something, it's because somebody retweeted it on Twitter.
Right.
You know, I
I don't.
blocked Michael K.
You blocked Michael K.
I block Michael K. I block Isola. I block all of them. 'Cause I don't
Yeah,
want to
I
hear what
used.
they have to say.
Yeah, I used to actually follow Isola, but I stopped. I didn't block him, but I stopped following. He was nonsense.
He actually crawled in my DMs too, and
Really?
that's a whole nother story with
Hey
that.
man, but look. If you got Michael K to reply to you, and Isola, like you pinched a nerve. That means what you're saying was not saying that it was right in their eyes, but you could tell you got under their skin for some reason. Because you know how many people probably did the same thing,
Right?
especially Michael K. Like Michael K is like the biggest radio person at ESPN, I believe.
Yeah.
He's
Well, he's
longest
on.
tenured,
Yeah.
especially in New
Well,
York.
yeah.
Definitely.
Absolutely. He's the
Yeah,
voice of the Yankees.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's been in New York sports for decades now.
Right.
Yeah, so if he replied to you, that means you struck a chord. There's a reason why you did that, especially from a DM. You didn't even tweet him.
Yeah. I'd send him a DM.
You should have said he was snitching. Shut up.
Yeah. Well, maybe it was a tweet. Maybe I sent him a tweet because
Okay.
I don't think he was following me because he got to follow me to do a DM. So it definitely was a tweet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still though, you know how many people probably tweeted him?
Right.
Right.
He
That's
was
how you
pissed
get.
too, man. When somebody's mad, they come off commercial. You hear him, this motherfucker. You hear him
You
bumbling
hear
in
the
the
chair
background.
start moving and shit.
Yeah. You hear the boom, 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 boom. He's
That's
mad,
funny as hell.
mad
But
and
you
shit.
gotta think
Yeah.
about it. People in the chat be getting you hot too. That's the same thing. It's the
Yeah,
same
it is.
thing, man. Like you
Yeah, it
got
is.
hot the other night. I forgot what dude said, but you got hot. 10-minute little rant. But it was needed. It was funny. It was cool. It was good for the show. That was the energy.
Yeah.
That was good.
What did he say? I think he said something of credibility.
Yeah. You're gonna
Oh my God! Don't get me started, man.
what Evergreen was saying, you was gonna ruin your credibility because of him on the show.
Right.
Salute to
So
Evergreen, yeah.
yeah, shout out
Evergreen,
to
wow.
Evergreen. Evergreen. I like Evergreen. You know what I'm saying? But I know
Word.
he is long winded. He is long
Yo.
winded.
I
And
remember
then
I don't know if you remember that time. You two was on the show, but I was the only one in the chat. And you was on for it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. And I had the show. You said two people was watching, and they both was me because I had one of them on the TV, and the other one typing on my phone. That shit was super funny. I was like, yo, like you gonna talk about like Evergreen to talk about stuff until he in his jammies. Like he need to start the show off in a onesie. Like by the time he stopped, it's over. Like you ready to go to sleep.
the funny shit about Evergreen is that we'll do the show and then I'll say, oh, well, let's end it because it's getting late or whatever. As soon as I hit end, he's still there and we talking for
Yeah,
2 more hours.
I figured that because me
Yeah.
me and my guys when we do the show, it's like that too. Like once we click off, we don't have to click off. But yeah, I get that. Like I guarantee you, Evergreen would still talk about how y'all was gonna win, how we gonna win the chip.
Yeah.
Like I'm
And then
telling you, man. Like I
yeah,
can hear it already.
yeah,
That's cool though. That's how you're supposed to act. Like that's just him.
yeah. Yeah, man, that's how it is. See, same thing, man. Like, well, I've been trying to wrap it up for like the last 30 minutes.
Right.
so I mean, it's something like that. Once you got something going, you can't stop it. You can't stop it.
Exactly, man. All right. So okay, you want me to end the show? I'm not gonna end the show.
No, we can just kind of end it because I mean, like I said, we can I can instantly just say one thing and then we're gonna go
Yeah, I know,
into it.
right? Oh, for one, I told you that the invitation is still, to get on our show. The invitation is still there, and we live on Sundays. I believe we're gonna start doing it at 4 o'clock live on Sundays. I'm gonna put the link in the chat too. I need to do that. I'm wilding.
Do it one more time before we get out of here. But if I'm available on Sunday, I'll jump on because like I said, guys that follow the channel, that I randomly just pop on. So I
Yeah,
just
I know exactly.
yeah, that's why you got to subscribe. If you're following, I never say that to subscribe to the podcast. I never say that. I never say hit the thumbs up. I never say subscribe because I'm just trying to just put the content out there. I'm not really if you're gonna subscribe, you subscribe, and that's how I feel about it. But I guess it's good to remind people to do it. You know what I'm saying? So subscribe, man, because I'm a hard working dude. I got kids and I got a wife and stuff like that. So sometimes I can't say, oh, I'm gonna go on Tuesday at a certain time. I just can't do it sometimes.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, for me, especially with my day job too, I don't always have the same days off either. So it's just for me, it's
Ah,
it's mayhem for me. So when I do go on, it's literally like, oh shit, I should do a podcast. You know, like that.
right. I can see that because with me, especially because even though like I said, Flaw does all the like the A mic stuff, but all the live stuff, and then you see like we'll do like pictures or videos and stuff. All that is me though.
Right.
I do all the video production stuff, and he does all the audio. So yeah, that's nerve wracking, especially when you're trying to get on the show.
Yeah.
I just put the link in the chat, so if you could click on that, it says the podcast brothers NJ, but if you click on that, it'll go to the audio network, and you'll see Barz N Shotz there, or you could just look up Barz N Shotz, and you'll find us.
Yeah, man. I don't see it in the chat yet. It didn't pop it up yet.
Oh, it must have didn't. I
Well,
definitely put it
also
in.
too, inside the what do you call it? The description, the link for the channel is in the description. So
Oh, okay,
people that come onto the show, they'll see the description and they'll see your link inside there.
I got you.
Yeah,
Maybe I think it'll be up there soon. I got Barz N Shotz. I don't know why they didn't put the link. You can't put links in the chat.
you should be able to.
I did it
Well,
on I did it on mobile though. I tried to put the link on the mobile. Maybe I should try.
well, Boost Mobile said he got it, so I guess
Okay.
maybe on the platform, it's not letting me do that.
Okay.
But the chat themselves, they could see it.
Yeah, cool. Just you could just type in Barz N Shotz. Type in that, yeah, it'll go right to you.
Okay. But like I said, the link is definitely in the subscription, man. So I'm not capping, man. Like if I don't like something, I'm not gonna say that I like it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like that. If I don't like you, I'm not gonna lie and say I like you. I just won't. You won't hear me talking about you. But this Bars and Shots channel with these guys on with Jarrell and Flaw 700 and Ant the Great and who's the fourth guy?
DJ Big J. He's just not.
DJ.
He's just not
Yeah.
there all the time. That's all. But yeah, that's our fourth host,
Yeah,
Big
DJ
J.
Big J. It's important, to say the guy's name and stuff like that, so
Got you,
guys
man.
can know. Yeah, man. But definitely check Jarrell out, man. Good stuff. Yeah, you can hear him speaking, man. The same way that he's talking to me. His guys, they're shooting like crazy, but bow, 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 bow,
Yeah, we get them bars off on purpose. Like,
Yeah,
let's just say I was kind of, just my first time on the show. I was, I was actually kind of tame on this show compared to how we usually get down over there. Like
right.
it's a whole bunch of filth, flying filth over there. It's not a show for kids at all. Let's just say,
Yeah, this podcast is definitely not a show for kids either. You
nah,
know that already.
yeah, but it's
But
all good.
yeah. So I mean, I definitely got to get you on the show again, man, because like I said, we could talk forever about anything. So it doesn't even have to be a special topic. Whenever
Hmm.
we get the time to do something, you're welcome to come on the show anytime you want to.
Cool. Thanks, man.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Hey,
That's
man.
what's up.
So yeah, so this is my man Jarrell, my biggest supporter next to my dad. You know what I'm saying?
That's
You know
what's
what I'm saying?
up.
My mom don't even won't even hit like or anything or whatever, man. So
Hey,
yeah, shout out to everybody that's in the chat. Thank you for tuning in to our next podcast. Please go out there and check out Bars and Shots, and we'll catch you on the next one, man.
peace.
Peace.